On this episode of VN Shop Shop, Jackson and I fly 800 kilometers to buy a Commodore. It is 6:40, so we're going to head to Mum's house and then on to the airport.
On our way to the airport.
I hate mornings.
I don't mind them.
Hey.
Thanks.
Recycling is cool.
Recommending one stick, run.
Just landed in Melbourne. This is Jackson. We just took a 45-minute taxi from the airport to a McDonald's in Melbourne, in Victoria somewhere. And we are now waiting for a guy to pick us up and take us to a Commodore that I bought on the internet and haven't seen and have already paid for.
Sounds good.
This could be rubbish.
Man, how you doing? Pleased to meet you, bro. I'm James. What's your name, bro?
Jackson, dude, how are you?
Pleased to meet you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, this is
Seeing the VN for the first time.
Nice.
Like
I'm addicted to these things. Yeah, right on. We just finished a kick by kangaroos. Run over by a truck.
I got a VN, it has a mini spool, it's a manual, it's got a tow bar, it's a wagon, it's awesome. Let's drive 800 k's home. So this is the beast. It's a VN Commodore 1989 Series 2. It's a wagon, which is the best type. It's reasonably clean, but yeah, it's a Commodore, so you know. We got a manual, and it's got a spooled diff, and it's kind of squeaky. We picked it up from the coolest dude. So we got no number plates, but we got a permit. So this is the new bus when I go back to South Australia. State, 800 kilometers from home, no number plates, a vehicle permit that's not in our name, in a Commodore that's not in my name. What else could go wrong?
Well,
A couple of things.
let's just hope that heat gauge actually starts working.
It's working. It's fine.
So how many times do you think we're going to get pulled over on the way?
Continue on M780 for 800 metres.
3 times.
3 times.
Depends if we drive back tonight or if we drive back in the morning.
That's unfortunate.
Somewhere in Melbourne.
Hi Melbourne.
Hi Melbourne.
Hi Melbourne.
We're 42 minutes into our drive.
Woohoo! We haven't been pulled over yet.
No, not yet.
That's a bonus.
1/8 of our trip done.
Yeah, yeah. Content. Yeah, sick cold. Melbourne. Is that a wonky bridge? If you own this cube and you're watching this video, scan on.
Like, comment, subscribe.
We're in Ballarat.
We are in Ballarat.
In a VN wagon with, oh, is it up? In a VN wagon with no plates, not a dodgy permit. I mean, a not dodgy permit.
In 800 metres, at the roundabout, take the second exit.
Need more springs.
No, what do you want springs for? It's a VN.
There's no bounce. So we've made it to Ballarat, which is about 140 k's from where we picked up the car. And we're at a motor wreckers. So we're just going to go in and see if we can get a spare wheel and a jack. So we had some luck. We got a spare wheel with good tread, we got a jack and a wheel brace. And then it came with some spares, so there's a few good bits in there, throttle body, coil packs and stuff. And then there's a bag with a diff, but it cut Jackson, so it's on our team. So we just got to my mate's house in Ballarat, and the VN made it, no worries. So it's behind the gate, and we're going to go out for dinner and get some pizza. Pizza!
How close is that?
Very. They just didn't care.
They just don't care.
Didn't even look.
Rolling around Ballarat, 0 plates, boat full of fucking junk. Sorry, it's not junk.
We decided not to stay in Ballarat tonight, so we're going to drive home when it's cool instead of it being 45 degrees tomorrow. So head through the night, should go home about 2 or 3 o'clock, hopefully.
Hopefully. And we don't know if the headlights work yet.
There's something happening.
Dash lights work. That's about it. Don't pull the switch off. But I think we decided that if the headlights don't work, we're going to very quickly find someone with a light bar on Marketplace and just bolt it somewhere. Yeah. That's a 1200 wagon.
Yeah. Ah, cool.
That's cool.
Covered in moss. That's cool.
It's not the Japanese that Jeff is looking for, but
Let's try and do locker U-turns.
over, not double lines, officer. Ugh. So we're somewhere between Ararat and Horsham. These headlights are garbage.
So
They are-
bad. Even the high beam.
Oh,
It's just
they
bad.
look way better on camera.
Do they?
Yeah.
Maybe we should just look through the camera.
But no, they are garbaggio. Trust me. We're nearly at Horsham. The aircon started leaking onto Jeff's feet, so we're now roasting. This is the most comfortable position for my hot body. I'm so keen for just getting out of this freaking bloody car, hey.
So we've made it to Horsham, which is about 200 k's from Ballarat.
Just walking out of the servo to the dodgiest, filthiest looking Commodore. It's so satisfying.
So this next scene is extra funny to us. Jackson had been driving for about 15 seconds. He literally made it 400 metres. He pulled out of the service station where we took the last clip that just finished, pulled out of that service station, turned right onto the main road and almost stalled it, and then bunny hopped a bit because the clutch is horrible. And then with the lock diff, the wheels were squeaking and he was bunny hopping, and there was a cop sitting on the side of the road with his lights off, just sitting facing us. So we drove past him and immediately turned his headlights on, turned around and came after us. We just pulled straight over, obviously, because we didn't have anything to hide. And then he pretty much checked everything, checked the VIN number, checked the permit, didn't want to deal with it, and said have a good night and have fun.
We knew it was going to happen. It's all good though. We're in Keith. That's right, 3 hours until home. There you go. Yay. We're just cleaning probably 6 or 7 now extinct species of bugs because we killed them all. It's getting progressively lower, which is a worry, but leave that in, man. Leave that in. That's good.
Progressively lower because we've got a boot full of parts.
Well, yeah. I mean, that too, but
And I don't think there's any shocks left. Oh wow, that's just tire.
that's, yeah. No wonder our spines are broken. Oh, and as well as it getting progressively lower, it's getting progressively louder too. Bang in the tunnel.
Hey guys, Jeff from the future here. Just editing the video now, and I've noticed there's a few holes in the story. So the whole story is I bought a gearbox for the Model A that I don't own. It's a TR6060 6-speed, so it's from a GM product. In Australia we have them in VN Commodores. So I bought this from my mate Lee in Ballarat, and I paid him, and he said it can stay there as long as it needs and just pick it up next time I'm in Ballarat. And another guy was asking me about the Lexus, and he was in Melbourne, and he was wondering how he's going to look at it. I said, well, I can drive it over to Ballarat, you can get to Ballarat, have a look at the Lexus. If you like it, you can buy it, take it back, and if not, then I'll drive home. So the plan was to take Dad's car with a car trailer, put the Lexus on the car trailer, drive it over. So that was all cool. Then I decided that that's no fun, and driving the Lexus over and driving something else back would be more fun. So Lee works at a used car dealership, and he's the used car manager. So he was trying to find me something. I told Jackson about the plan. He was trying to find me something. I was looking, of course, and we came up with the Commodore. So the story behind the Commodore is my mate Dale with the orange Tirana. He's right into his Commodores, and he's been hassling me and saying, you need to get one, you need to get one. And I said, I'll get one if I can find a white one with black bumpers, in manual, with a tow bar, and it has to be a wagon. And I didn't think that was going to happen very quickly, but it did, so organised that. So the plan then was to drive the Lexus over, pick up the Commodore, then drop the Lexus off to the guy that I was selling it to, and then drive the VN to Lee's house, pick up the gearbox, and then stay there the night, and then the next morning drive it home. So that changed slightly. The guy bailed on the Lexus idea, so we'd already bought the VN at that stage. So we ended up flying to Melbourne, catching a taxi, and then getting picked up by the guy's stepson. He then drove us to the workshop where the Commodore was, picked the Commodore up, and then drove that to Lee's house, picked up the gearbox. So we had dinner with Lee and Michaela, and then we decided to drive home. We were going to drive home the next day, but it was forecast to be 45 degrees, which is absolutely scorching. So we decided to drive through the night when it would be a bit cooler, and it was still only about 25 to 30 degrees anyway, so it was still quite warm. So that should wrap up today's video, and I hope you enjoy it. We got back yesterday morning at 3 o'clock. So I just moved the Commodore out the back, so it's not sitting out the front anymore. And I also bought a slightly newer model for 350 bucks to get some parts off of it. So I want the seats and the springs and probably wheels and a few other little bits and pieces. So this is an 89, that's a 91, 92 or something like that. So this one was $2,000, this one was 350 bucks. And this one's way nicer, obviously, and a more sought after model. But I just need to get a few things out of the car, so I thought I'd give you a quick view of the car now that we're not in a huge rush. So the car's still road trip fresh. We've got bags of lollies and USB cables and Red Bulls and half packets of chips everywhere. Got the mount for my phone on the dashboard still. Bunch of the previous owner's stuff in the car. The driver's seat's got a nice tear on the bolster, so that's why I got the other car for the seat. And then the back, same sort of story. Just crap everywhere. So there's the TR6060 that we bought, and Lee said if I bought him dinner I could have these taillights for a VT, I think it was. And then the car came with a bunch of spares as well. And then that's more gearbox stuff that I bought off of Lee. And he threw in a set of carbs as well, as long as I use them on a Corolla, because Lee's an OG Corolla dude. So that's all going to stay in there because it's currently 45 degrees, which is ridiculous. People literally cooked hams in their car today because it was that hot. So this is the VN engine bay. As you can see, it is reasonably clean. So needs a battery holder, but other than that it should be reasonably good. And then while I'm here, this is the VS Commodore. So it has a different engine in it, so that's no good to me. The front end panels are different, but the panels, the door panels, are apparently the same. And the interior bolts into the other car. It's not the same, but it does bolt in. So I'll just take the best of what I can from here and put it in the other one. So the plan is to get the VN SA registered, which means it needs to get an identification check, and then put all the good parts from the VS into the VN, and then part out what I can, but keep this driving, and then take it to Dale's block and do some dumb off-road crashy rally stuff. So this thing's probably going to be dead pretty soon, but the back's kind of caved in anyway. A tree got dropped on it and it's got 1 trillion kilometers on it, so it's good for parts, and that's about it. As for the Corollas, the red one still has a tail shaft in it, and I need to pull that out and pull the exhaust off. The white one, I took the tail shaft out finally, and I cut the exhaust off because it was too difficult. I swapped the back wheels over, but that's about it because it was too hot, so I'll update those in the next video. But it's been way too hot to work on those things. So that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it. We've got home at 3:15 as expected, and we didn't have any issues mechanically. We ran into the police once, and that was it really. We just drove through the night, so it was a pretty successful trip. Alright, thanks for watching guys. See you next time.